the Karmic DF.
What is up, besties? It is your girl, the Karmic DF, back to you again with another video. This time we are going to take a look at the little book, little black book, whatever color. So as always, these are alleged and for entertainment purposes only. There are zero facts here, just floating hands on the internet giving you some information. Already did the video. It's a little intense. It's all over the place, but at least I feel like we got some answers. So as always, if you enjoyed these videos, please give it a like. It really does support my channel. Hey, my regulars. Hey, besties. How y'all doing? Hope your holiday season's going well. If you're not a regular, please subscribe. We'd love to have you here. If you could fill in any of the gaps for me and anything that I was channeling, please feel free to throw it in the comments below. Also, if this is not your type of reading, you like the more pop culture stuff, or if you want to watch self-development videos, I have playlists for days. Go ahead and check them out if this is not for you. But today we're going to look into Jeff and his little black book. And yeah, I already did it. It's a little intense. So again, alleged, for entertainment purposes only, besties. No facts here. So follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Links are all down below. If you'd like to book a personal reading, links are all down below. I got 10% off for hour-long readings for the holiday season. You can also get gift certificates. But as always, let's get into it. What is up, besties? It is your girl, the Karmic DF, back to you again with another video. This time, I cannot stress enough that this is all for alleged and entertainment purposes only. No facts here. Floating hands on the internet. No facts. Okay? Got it? Good. So, today we are going to cover the infamous Epstein book. If we could see anything on what's going to happen, I will try to get as much information as possible in terms of going into the future. But as always, these readings are alleged and for entertainment purposes only. No facts here. If you enjoy these readings, please give it a like. It really does support my channel. Hey to my regulars. Hey, besties. How y'all doing? If you're not a regular, hope you enjoy, and I hope you subscribe to our tribe. Like, comment, share this video if you enjoy it or want other people to know about it. If you'd like to book a personal reading, my links are all down below. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Links are all down below. But as always, this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. And I also just want to give a shout out to Andy7041 simply because it was their idea and it was an amazing idea. And also, if you guys want to be shouted out for your excellent ideas that give me an idea, let me know and I'll continue to do so. But let's get started. Y'all, the moment that I was like, all right, let's tap into this. Let's see what we can get. I just started getting flooded with information. Now, I'm going to need y'all to put your tinfoil hats on. I mean, we're already diving into dark waters. But I already got a lot of information. And for some of you, you're going to be like, this bitch cray. And then the rest of you are going to be like, oh my God, this is all starting to make sense. So, and now my throat's starting to shut down. Are we shocked? I'm not. Anyway, so what I got immediately was we're going to see, like we usually do with these high class cases, we're going to see whack-a-mole in the media. I immediately got my symbol. So whatever it is that they can throw in front of us, I'm seeing like TMZ stories on Britney, TMZ stories on Taylor Swift, TMZ stories on Selena Gomez. So they are going to try really hard to keep it not necessarily out of the mainstream, but what I'm hearing is like put a lid on it, keep control of the situation. I feel like there are big dogs running the show. We don't understand the complexity of this. We don't understand the depth of this. Like, I'm hearing my little symbol of like an elite squad known as a special victims unit, but it's definitely bigger than SVU. Like, you have, because what I'm seeing is like military. I am seeing people working together that you would expect to work together if they were going for war type of thing. I'm seeing like army generals and people with like, I don't know, buttons that are gold and stuff. Some stuff's really going down. So what I got immediately, I was drawn to, and again, oh my God, so much a legend for entertainment purposes only. What I was drawn to was how Prince Andrew made a settlement. Now, forgive me because I'm from America. Isn't he the king now? Because what I got was Prince Andrew doing the settlement, and how it's very obvious that an innocent person wouldn't settle for something like that. You know what I mean? If you're being accused of, disrespecting someone's free will to their body, you're not going to settle. And I even read the settle statement a while ago, and it said something about like, it must have been hard. And so, I'm doing the settlement because blah, 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 bullshit. So I do have some potential names, but again, like I said, it could be metaphorical. It may not be literal. But right away, what I got was Prince Andrew, settlements. And what I was seeing was a network. And I'm seeing the higher the money goes, the more likely we're either going to see settlements from these people or not hear about it at all. But what I did get also was that this is like a slow trickle thing. Like I saw people at a circle desk, and whoever's in charge, they're like, the public can't handle it. Because what I was seeing was that it's a network, right? Epstein's super rich. He's got ties. And yeah, because I'm hearing I got friends in low places. So there's a network of people, which means that I'm being drawn to like a disease. A disease it doesn't care what part of the body. It doesn't care if you die. It's a disease. Its intention is to spread, right? And so what I'm seeing is like, it's spread into the news, it's spread into music, it's spread into acting, it's spread into wherever money can be had. So the problem is there's people working together. Like it's like a white clear circle desk. Clear, I mean like clean, just very shiny. I don't know if that's metaphorical, whatever, but I see people around a desk and they're trying to figure out how to tell us in waves, because I'm being drawn to, like, depending on your age, but for millennials, this was a big one. Most of us remember exactly where we were when Michael Jackson died, or maybe like the Twin Towers, you remember where you were. So they're trying not to do damage to our psyche. I mean, they've already done so much with the lockdown and everything. Like, a lot of damage was already done. But it's kind of this headspace of like, if they were to know, because I'm hearing in my head, like, you can't handle the truth. Like, I'm not trying to drag anybody, but that's where they are at, the people that are in control of this. So the reason that this has been taking forever is not only that there's a shit ton of rich people on that list that are trying to get their name removed. I'm hearing that they're arguing for defamation of character. They're arguing that there's no proof, although I do believe there is proof. I'm being drawn to like dark web, and I'm being drawn to videotapes, like literal VHS tapes. So I think this goes far back. It's been going on for a very, very long time. But that being said, they're definitely concerned about our public, our well-being. Like, think about when Robin Williams died. We were all sad. Oh, I can't relate, but apparently when the Queen died, there was a lot of depressed people. So you know what I'm saying? So they're thinking about our mental health. They're thinking about our well-being. That being said, this is where it's going to get a little, tinfoily hat. So again, you have an option. You can always not watch this. If you saw my little notebook, it's because I was channeling so much that I had to write down bullet points. Okay. So another thing that Spirit told me was people have already been removed and replaced. And this is where it's going to get creepy, and this is where it's going to get tinfoil hatty, and this is where some of you are going to bounce, and that's fine. But what I was seeing was how lately, and some of you might have noticed this too, where people have not been looking like themselves. Like I've seen regular people point it out too, not spiritual people, where I saw a commercial and it had LeBron James, and I was like, that's not LeBron James. Like, I'm looking at his eyes. His soul's just not in there. I don't know if that's like a power of people that's happened to psychic gifts, but I knew he wasn't in there. But anyway, the next thing that I got was that people have already been replaced. So I was drawn to deep fakes and AI. So there's a lot of people that have already been removed. Now, I don't know if this is a metaphor, if this is literal. So let your heart be the judge, and don't let your emotions get in the way, because some of the names that are going to pop out of my mouth, you're going to be like, oh no. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I can relate. It sucks, but this is what I was seeing. I'm being drawn to people making deals because they're kind of like less on the totem pole, because I'm seeing like the book, and it's kind of almost like a hit list for him. It's kind of like, imagine like your shittiest, because I've gotten rid of these friends, but imagine your like shittiest friend that like always loves to keep like dirt on you so that they can be 2 steps ahead. That was his mentality. So he had dirt on everybody. So the level of dirt depends on the person. So I was being drawn to how AI is becoming more popular right now and that deep fakes are getting better. I was drawn to this TikTok of this guy who was talking for Morgan Freeman, and Morgan Freeman's video was right above him, and it looked like Morgan Freeman was talking. It sounded just like him, but it was your regular Joe Schmo. And that's the technology that we're going towards. I was drawn to, again, I don't know if this is a metaphor, but I was drawn to Mint Mobile and Ryan Reynolds. And I was drawn to how the commercial seemed really like, kind of like, I don't know if y'all remember this, but there was a time, I'm aging myself here with the millennialness, I guess, but there was a time where celebrities did not have a problem admitting that they were too good for commercials like Mint Mobile, AT&T, skincare, Neutrogena, shampoo, stuff like that. So I think Spirit wanted me to mention, when you start seeing these big A-listers that are doing these like lesser commercials, for lack of a better term, like Mint Mobile. I don't know if Ryan Reynolds is one of them. It could just be a metaphor, but they want you to keep an eye out for people that basically it doesn't fit, right? It doesn't make sense. So if you see someone like, I don't know, let's go with Oprah. She's so easy. Let's say Oprah's now doing a commercial for Dove soap, right? It kind of just doesn't make sense. It's like, you're a billionaire. Why are you doing a commercial for Dove soap? These are some of them. I'm not saying all. I'm sure that there are some that just feel like I need to make more money. But some have already been kind of, they have deals. Like, this is why, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, to those that follow like the Q people, this is why I argue a lot in a lot of my videos that somewhere between truth and, you know, extremes is the real truth. And I don't feel that Q is too far off, because again, I feel like a lot of people have already been removed. And when I was being drawn to that commercial, I was immediately drawn to the show Black Mirror. I don't know if you've seen that show, but there's an episode, I think it's called I Hate Jess or something like that. But basically, she's on a Netflix show, and long story short, the chick that's playing her, Salma Hayek, she sold the rights to her face and her voice and her image. And what I'm getting is, whether that's because you're guilty or not, I'm not sure, they are doing this. This is how they are kind of basically edging them out of the system. Like, I'm being drawn to how, like, kids get too old for something, so they're aged out of the system. Oh, like, I don't know, that might have something to do with this. I don't know. That could have been a Freudian slip. How people get aged out of foster care and have nowhere to go. I don't know why I got drawn to that all of a sudden. Now I'm being drawn to Florida, and I'm being drawn to water. So allegedly, I'm going to have to say it because I'm seeing it. There might be some sort of link between rich people and foster systems with the whole argument of kids. So I do feel like something to do with Florida and water systems. Anyway, like I said, I'm just going to channel in the beginning. This is probably going to be long, but you guys wanted the speech, and I don't know that I'll get this level of depth with just cards. But anyway, going back to the Black Mirror episode, Spirit's like, look at the eyes, look at the behavior. Are they acting like themselves, or do they seem a little bit more robotic? Does it feel like it's real, or does it feel a little bit more AI? Because what I'm seeing is there are certain people that are super famous that I'll throw myself in there. I'm not huge fans of too many people, but there's a couple. We are too big of fans that we wouldn't be able to take some of the people that we'd find out were a part of this. And so they are getting phased out. So what I also got was they've been testing the waters to see how we would handle it, because some people struck deals. Some people are too far gone. Some people are working together to help basically like get themselves removed because they've settled for that, right? It's like, I saw what you did on the Black Book, and now you can't be a part of this anymore, but we struck a deal. You ratted out a couple of your friends, so this is how we're going to move you. But they showed me And I told you I've been feeling this in a lot of videos, especially when I did the video on Oprah on the Maui wildfire. But she came right up, and it was giving me, I'm testing the waters. Somebody like Oprah, someone of that caliber, would she be canceled if we showed you that she's not a good person? Now, not even what I wrote down. Now I'm being drawn to Ellen DeGeneres. She was the nice one. Now I'm being drawn to, oh God, what's his name? I lost it. Cordell. The funny, he's got an accent. He's got like a ton of night shows where he does like carpool karaoke. James Corden, thank you, Spirit. There's a lot of people that are too big, and so you know how they have that whole conspiracy. I guess I could look into that if you guys want me to. That like at 27, people like just mysteriously don't exist anymore when they're part of the club, part of the rich people club. I don't know. That might have something to do with it as well. But I was drawn to people. It's like, okay, I know this sounds crazy, y'all, but we're just going to do it. Okay, this is what you asked for. But they're testing the waters. So it's like they threw Oprah out there, and Oprah did nothing in terms of a donation, but guess what? People still worship her, right? And so this is kind of the problem they're having. Not every single name on the list has been a secret. We've already known about some of them. It's just how they're playing it out. I'm not going to say that Oprah's on the list, but you know what I mean? So I feel like we're going to see a lot more of that. So if you start seeing people that are getting thrown in the news that are big names, got a lot of a net worth, and it looks like the media is trying to cancel them for something that requires, like, you should have had a heart about this, you should have cared about people, keep an eye out for that, because what I'm getting from that is there are people, like I said, there are people that we don't want to accept that they could be bad people. And so instead of them just being like, hey, your favorite person's on the list, they're removing them per you. Does that make sense? So instead of them being like, hey, listen, I'm sorry, but your favorite person, Oprah's on this list. And then you go, no, screw you. You're wrong. You're a liar. I can't handle that. Instead of them doing that, my throat is not, it's like, don't do this, girl. Instead of that, they're doing like, let's create an op. That's what I'm hearing. Let's create an op. Let's get her set up, and then we'll put them on the chopping block, and we'll let society decide. It's giving me like what's it called? Because I don't watch a lot of these shows. Like Survivor, stuff like that. It's like you put them on the chopping block. Those real, they're real, but they're not. Whatever. Anyway, let's move on because I got way more shit. I got that people are exiting out like a movie because of the mental health of the planet. And I kept hearing, your favorites too, your favorites too. And I don't feel like that was just me. I feel like that's us. But it's like, did I already write it? I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'll go back if I need to. But yeah, I just kept hearing your favorites too, your favorites too. It's very, because it's so intricate and because it could do so much damage. Like, think about if that book just dropped, right? Like, some of us can handle it, but some of us might have like at least a mental break for a little bit. So when I got people exiting out like a movie, it's giving me more like, like for instance, why the hell does The Rock not look anything like The Rock anymore? Like, if you look at really old pictures of him, like, his skin tone changed, his muscle features, and you can argue plastic surgery, it's possible, but this is stuff that they want you to look out for, because what I'm getting is it's in your face, but they can't just straight up tell you because they don't want to do damage. So what I got next, which you guys are going to be bummed, is that we'll never really know the entire list, but they want you to be more skeptical. Anything that happened since he was caught, but like they put a really they put like a hard, I don't know when that book was found. I don't remember any of that, but I was being drawn heavily to like 2016 and moving forward. So somewhere around 2016, when you started to see people suddenly dying, especially like pneumonia, I was drawn really strongly to pneumonia, weird ways of dying that we didn't see coming. It's like, how did you die from that? Start looking at people like that, because it's not necessarily true. And I know what that sounds like. I'm sorry. Also, I was being drawn to who retires. So people that are suddenly like, I don't know, let's say they're 50, right? Like they're not that old. Like 50 is not old. You could be a young 50, honey. But suddenly they're like, nah, I don't really want to do the spotlight anymore, and then they just disappear. Like now that I'm talking about this, I'm being drawn to, and again, I might be name dropping. I might not be. We'll go with it. But I'm being drawn to Tom Hanks and how, I don't know if anybody else remember this. So if you remember this, please drop it in the comments. But do y'all remember how he was being accused for diddling littles? And then all of a sudden he just moves to Greece. And then now I can't find anything about it on the internet. So that's another thing. The more money, the more they can, again, I'm seeing my whack-a-mole theory. It's like you got to be 10 steps ahead. I think this is why a lot of the, what's it called? A lot of the conspiracy theorist people are getting really annoyed and they're getting a lot louder. I can see their point. I feel like this list has been in the hands of the right people for a while, and I feel like they've been slowly moving out the people that are the problem. They also told me to tell y'all to focus on people that are starting to go quote unquote crazy, but I would argue more so mental health. They said crazy, but I'm going with mental health. So like I've been drawn to wanting to make a video on Orlando Brown or Tara Manning. You know how some people are coming out and they're like, the Disney area, they messed me up and blah, blah, blah. You're going to continue to see more of that. You're going to see people going crazy because they're trying to get out of what they've been in. So, you know, have some heart, kind of look into what it is they're saying, because again, I'm being drawn heavily to like, oh, and Kanye too is a good example about how Kanye was like, y'all know that Kim and the Kardashians, I was just like the movie Get Out. If you haven't seen the movie Get Out, I feel like we are moving to a place where a lot of the conspiracies are going to start to make sense because a lot of other things aren't making sense. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like we are going to have to put the puzzle pieces together. If I'm being honest with you, I'm going to pull cards. I will. But if I'm being honest with you, I think the names that we would get from the book are going to be either like names that we don't know that are super rich. So like, let's say, because I'm hearing like corporate conglomerates. I can't even say that word. I'm also hearing like rap adjacent. So like being drawn to like P. Diddy's manager, or like manager of Sony Inc., manager of Pfizer. I just heard that. I don't know what that means, but managers of the guild. I don't know what that means either. So movies, TV, music, stuff like that. I think they're going to give us lists of names that either we haven't heard of or it's like star adjacent. But the big names that you guys are fans of that we wouldn't take very lightly, I think they're kind of getting like coaxed out, removed, and so we don't know the extent of it. Because ironically, as much as I would say that the government does not care about us, this might be like a side government, because again, remember I heard elite members. So this kind of feels like a group that's kind of like adjacent to government, because they're very hell-bent on making sure that we don't go crazy. Because what I'm hearing is like, if you only knew, if you only found out. It's like when you find out that your neighbor is a pedo. You know what I mean? It's giving that, except it's the person you worshipped your whole life. So they're trying to be very smart on it. So for those of you that are like, I'm so angry, this book never came out, we never found out about the names. It's not that we didn't find out. It's that they're already doing the work, but they're doing it in a way that causes the least amount of harm. I hope this makes sense. I might not even need to pull cards with how much information I got. Okay. Anyway. Let's move on. Yeah, focusing on who just randomly dies. Pneumonia is a big one. So if people are dying of pneumonia, I keep hearing that one. Focus on that, because pneumonia is just, for some reason, it's BS. I don't know why, but pneumonia is like a big one they play on. So focus on that. Also, people that die in tubs. People that die... see, if you guys want me to do the Matthew Perry reading, let me know. But people that are dying in hot tubs or tubs, definitely people that are ODing. I'm getting like a 50-50 with that, and I'm probably being kind of nice. I don't buy that a lot of these people that are ODing are actually ODing. Again, what this feels like. Okay, so Spirit is showing me like a grand symphony, a grand orchestra, right? Except everybody that's playing one of the instruments is part of like I'm being drawn to when there's some sort of award ceremony, right? And all of the celebrities are there. Except imagine all the celebrities are playing instruments. They're in an orchestra, right? They're trying to get everybody out as quietly as possible to make us handle it as well as possible. So to those that are big into conspiracy, that fall under, going with the whole Q, I'm going to be very careful with their name because I don't want to get flagged. But their argument's kind of solid in that it's already happening in the background. I don't know where they're getting their information from when it comes to that, but they are accurate in that, because what I'm seeing is a lot of people getting removed behind closed doors. I was also drawn to, we need to be keeping an eye out for people whose faces are just suddenly changing, people whose bodies are just suddenly changing. They're going to say that it's surgery, plastic surgery, facial surgery, Botox, yada, yada, yada. And I'm not saying all of them, but a lot, especially think about net worth. So if they're super, super rich and then all of a sudden they don't look like themselves. Now, when I asked about that, they showed me, again, this could be a metaphor, this could be legit, but they showed me Zac Efron and how even plastic surgeons, because there are YouTubers that do that, are saying that, like, the math ain't mathin' on that one. So I was drawn to Zac Efron, and I was also drawn to Simon Cowell and how he was complaining about how Botox made him look like a completely different person. So are those two people on the list? Maybe. But it's definitely something you need to keep an eye out. Are people looking like completely different versions of themselves? It's like, I've said this since I was a kid and I didn't even know what the hell I was talking about. The eyes are the window to the soul. If you're looking at your favorite celebrity and suddenly they look different, but you're like, oh, it's Botox, but something's not sitting right, look at the eyes, because the soul has its own imprint. So the problem is, your super famous people, I don't feel like they will ever be outed. I mean, like I said, Prince Andrew got outed, right? And then it was immediately settled, and then everybody forgot about it. Isn't he the king now? So we have that issue going against us. There's going to be a lot of settlements. So again, for our internet sleuths, the people that are really good, y'all need to start looking for these settlements, because that's where you're going to get these bad guys. I'm seeing people that are settling it so well that I'm seeing the word classified over it. So again, like I said, the more money, the more odds are we are not going to find it. All right. Other stuff they told me. Do you guys remember when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, millennial stuff just kind of came back? And it kind of gave the vibe of, like, how things get recycled, but that was not the point. When the millennial stuff came out, so to people that were big into it, Blue's Clues, when he came out and did a video for us and he was like, I'm sorry I'm gone, I hope you guys are doing well, that stuff. When the old bands came back, so like when we were Young Fest and then Yellow Card, Blink-182, all of that. NSYNC came back, Blue's Clues again, oh my god, Backstreet Boys, Yellow Card, all of that. This was a mixture, apparently, as this bike flies by. This was a mixture, apparently, to both soothe us so that we could feel a little bit better, but also to expose even more people, because wasn't Nick Carter part of, like, so basically, all right, to kind of explain this in a little bit wrapped up little bow for you. You know how lately, the past couple of years, we keep finding out that people are getting in trouble for sexual assault? Am I allowed to say that? Okay, well, I already said it. I personally don't feel that this is random. Like, this is also astrology, due to astrology. It's the age where we don't put up with shit that we don't deserve. I don't know. Follow your astrologers for that. But between the millennial stuff coming out, that was to help cancel the less prominent people that are still a thing. And then I was drawn to Nick Carter. So if I'm getting the name wrong, I apologize. But this is how they're doing it. It's like, there's a mixture. How much do you love this person? If you love this person, then we're going to try and destroy their name in the media so that you make the conscious choice not to like this person anymore. And if that works, then we can get them removed from the spotlight. So remember how, like, Ellen DeGeneres' show got canceled? I think Wendy Williams' show got canceled. Oprah's show got canceled. Like, start to notice that stuff, because it's not a coincidence. It's how they're dealing with things. Does that make sense? Because some of the names they have, they just can't tell us. And they are also, allegedly, if you're not from America, if you're from England, you're not going to like this one. So please don't shoot the messenger. But I was being drawn to how Queen Elizabeth was an incredibly large, loved figure. I personally didn't understand, but I don't live there. I live in America. But I was drawn to how no matter what she did, she couldn't be canceled, right? She was very loved. And so what happened? She just died of old age. And we were all like, what the hell? And the same thing, I'm being oh my God, I feel like they're just dropping names on me right now. I'm going to be honest with y'all, but this is alleged, so no facts here. Remember how like Betty White was worshipped and then all of a sudden at like 99 she died? So I don't know if that's a metaphor because I'd like to believe Betty White's a good person, but I mean, again, she's super rich. But it's like, it's noticing how people are kind of, you know, like the end of a season of a show and then like a bunch of cast members are gone and then you like later find out it was due to like they don't want to pay them enough or they did some F shit on the show. It's kind of giving that. It's like, look who's fading away because a lot of those people were on the list. Does that make sense? I might not even need to pull cards. I also got that the book has levels of like bad things done. Mr. Jeff was someone who always kept tabs. So like he was always giving help to others, but he was always like keeping something in his back pocket. So it was like, sure, I'll clean up this, I'll do that, I'll do whatever. But it was like a logbook of like what you did, what the time was. If I have a video, I feel like he had a lot of videos, a lot of voice recordings. This man, when you're, I mean, if you're not a cheater, you might not get this, but you might get it anyway. Not that I'm saying I'm a cheater, but I was 19 once. Like when you cheat, so you're like, oh my God, that person's cheating because you're the one doing it. It's giving that. He knew that he was bad, and so he was 5 steps ahead of everybody else. And so with this book, there was a level. What I'm seeing is like a hierarchy, like a pyramid. So there's some people that's at the bottom that are like they were broke and they borrowed money from him and like had to do a couple of bad things. So maybe like, bringing white snowflakes across a Mexican border. You know what I'm saying? Like then it would go up to like money laundering, and then it would go up to like marital affairs and like hiding that, and then it would be like marital affairs and then a girl who is not of age, then it would just be girls that are not of age, then it would be unaliving. There is a list, there is a hierarchy, and he had dirt on everybody. And so it's kind of giving like, if anyone's seen Mean Girls, like the burn book, but that was his weapon. And so they got all of that information. And so what we're getting now, because what I saw, and this was a great way to shut down how much I was channeling, like for instance, O.J. Simpson, which I did a reading on that. You can find it in my conspiracy list. People had money to pull them out of their own problems. And somehow this network always ran back to this dude. But for instance, P. Diddy, the people that we're seeing that are getting in trouble for assaulting a couple of girls here and there. What I was seeing is like, you know how like a stage before you go on for like, let's say a talent show, because you're one person, right? You're at the back of the deck and then they're like up on deck next. And then I saw P. Diddy. So it's giving me the vibe of like, we're trying to separate it so that it's more palatable. And so we'll give you a couple, you can breathe. We'll throw something nice at you. Here's a millennial tour, a reunion. Then we're going to throw another person out. So you're already getting the information. It's just how they're playing it. Like for instance, let's say that, because I really truly believe that, allegedly and for entertainment purposes only, that Mr. P did and his manager, I do believe they were on the list. Because what I saw was people are on the list. We're going to line them up. We're going to do this in a healthy way that doesn't mess up people's minds so much. And then I saw him and it was like, all right, you're on deck. And so you get pushed forward. And then people that were actually hurt by those people, they get to speak up. So for instance, Cassie, she gets to speak up, right? But what we're not seeing is it's so much deeper and it's so much darker. So that person has to go. We need at least a couple of people to back up the story. So you get to tell your story because your story is the least messed up. So I don't mean to like keep dragging these people even worse, but I like, for instance, the one that hasn't fully come out yet about P. Diddy and sex, when you're in a car and there's some traffic, and a young girl. This is the book coming out. That's what's happening. It's coming in waves so that we don't basically have a heart attack and fear for our lives and hide in our homes for the rest of forever. So, that's what I got from my spirit team in terms of channeling, in terms of just everything they wanted me to know. I'm assuming it's probably because I'm not going to get a lot of names from the cards alone. So now let's take a look at the cards. I hope this was informative. This is going to be a long reading, but if you guys want the truth, then this is how we're going to do it. So now we're going to move on to the cards. And as always, this is alleged. No facts here. How could I possibly know? I am simply floating hands on the internet. All right, let's move on. I want to move to Dark Mirror Oracle. Wait a second. Did I call that show Dark Mirror? I confused the two. Black Mirror, Dark Mirror. I don't know. If you check out that episode, that is 100% what's going on right now. I would highly recommend watching it because you'll get a better understanding of what's going on. But yeah, let's move on to Dark Mirror. All right, so we'll start with oracles. I'll end with tarot cards and we'll call it a day. Like I said, I don't really know what I'm going to get just because I just keep hearing like it's very shush shush. It's very... I don't know how that's going to play out. But anyway, let's see. I just feel like we're going to be getting names. My throat keeps clearing up. We're going to be getting names that we either don't know or we don't really care about to that extent. It's not like you're going to get names of like, I don't know, Spirit Team, give me like a... Like, I don't think that you're going to see Jay-Z and Beyonce on the list. Does that mean that they should be or shouldn't? But they did pop into my mind, didn't they? But yeah, I don't think you're going to get people that you want to be held accountable. I think the way they're going to go out is like I channeled earlier. But let's check it out. Let's see what else we could get. Okay. Who's got the guilty conscience? Who's got the guilty someone's got a guilty conscience. Oh, okay. All right. So there's some people. Okay. So, all right. Again, I might just be dropping names because they're metaphors. I don't know. But right now I'm being drawn to like Russell Brand. I always butcher this. Russell Brand, right? Yeah. And I actually really love his YouTube. So if you don't follow that, you totally should. Especially when they're against it. That definitely means you should. But that being said, I feel like there are, because I'm seeing hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. So I feel like there are mainstream celebs, rich people, whatever, that knew what was going on, but was either like threatened or they were part of it, but they didn't realize how deep it got. Because what I'm seeing is like testing the waters. Whoa, that's way too dark. And then removing myself. So, because remember how like Russell Brand got accused for doing stuff and then like nothing ever became of that, but now he can't make money on YouTube. It's giving like there are some, yeah, because I'm seeing the Knight of Swords in my mind's eye, which is giving me like savior complex. I feel like there are some people who have a lot of guilt that are mainstream figures that, oh, okay, this makes sense. So like I'm being drawn to, I think it's like a YouTube that's called like what's it called? I don't know. There's a chick that was on Nickelodeon and now she's like exposing all of the big guys. I'm picturing the fat guy that like liked feet and stuff. I can't think of their names. But anyway, there are people that were part of it, but like not like they were adjacent. You know what I mean? They knew what was going on. They knew it was garbage. They kind of tolerated it because that was kind of like you had to basically in order to be one of us type thing. And so those people are the ones that are either losing their minds right now or they feel like they need to do better because of what they've seen. So I think that's why I'm being drawn to like Russell Brand and how now he's talking about politics. And it's like, why did you go sideways? That's kind of shocking. It's like, because I don't want to be a part of this little group of catastrophe. That's kind of the vibe it's giving me. It's like I had to put up with it. Maybe I dabbled, but I don't think it's dabbling in terms of like really messed up stuff. It's more like, you know how like you have bad friends that have really bad ideas and you're like, well, I want to be a part of something, so like I'll go around. It's giving like accidental getaway driver. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know y'all were going to go murder people, but here I am driving the getaway car. You know what I'm saying? Like it's giving that. So I feel like this is just kind of a nod to start listening to celebs that start speaking out on it. Like I'm being drawn to how like Joe Rogan, how he interviews a lot of people and he's very open to what they have to say, no matter how crazy or conspiracy it is, because there are a lot of people that knew what was going on, but they were threatened. They, what I'm seeing is like, I'll kill your family, I'll kill your friends, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll ruin your name. I'm seeing like deep fakes. So I feel like a lot of them, oh my God, that could be why when I did the Russell Brand reading, I didn't see a lot about SA, because I almost feel like they can make deep fakes of anything. I mean, I've already seen it with regular people. So I wonder if they've also threatened, like, if you rat us out, we'll put child pee on your laptop. You know what I mean? And I don't mean like pee. I mean, you know. So this is very, I feel like this is going to be dragged on for a long time. And I think what you guys want to see, you're not going to see, because they're playing it out the way I just told you before. So I could see, what I'm seeing is like, it's giving like FBI raid, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of like old white men with like those bag hats on top of them, because, you know, not to get killed and not to get shot, not to get sniped type of thing. I think they are going to do like a raid, but it's going to be, again, it's going to be rich people that we've either never heard of, and then maybe they'll actually admit that there is like a group running the government behind our backs. I don't know. But I do think they are going to release names. It's not going to be the ones you want to hear, because like I said, the ones that you really want to know about, they're already being dealt with, and that's the stuff you need to look out for moving forward. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of people. This is why people are losing their mind right now. You know, all these people that are in the, like, I just keep being drawn to Orlando Brown and Kanye. It's like they're not crazy. It's like, you know how, okay, Spirit's drawing me to how, I don't know, hopefully you guys haven't had to deal with this, but I can relate. When you've lived in fight or flight your entire life, it's like, I just got to survive. I can't even think about like dealing with my emotions. I just have to survive. And then finally, you don't have to survive anymore. You finally can live. So like, I don't know, like a foster care kid, for instance, that finally gets a nice, safe home. Well, when you can finally enter safety, but you've never known it before, it can make you a little crazy. Because now it's like, oh my God, I can breathe. And now I have to deal with all these emotions that I had to suppress in order for me to survive. So, you know, Britney Spears flipping out and then deleting social media posts. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I believe that Britney's stuff is not just what we know. Because I'm being drawn to Marilyn Monroe, and how Marilyn Monroe was used for the benefit of the Kennedys. So I think we're going to find out moving forward. I don't know how long it's going to take, because like I just keep seeing like a trickling water. But this is a very intricate web of tomfoolery, if I've ever seen it. So I think this is just kind of a nod to listen to the people that sound like they're crazy, that the news are like, oh yeah, they're mentally ill, they're going unwell, they're sitting here talking about how, you know, so-and-so R-worded them. Listen to them, because people go crazy because they've been through some stuff. People don't just go crazy because they feel like it. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is more of like a nod of like, if you guys want the actual information of what's in that book, then you have to do the work of reading between the lines, because the best you're going to get from that book is what is palatable for humans and mankind. Does that make sense? Let's move on to the tarot, and I'm going to call it a day. All right, so before I get started, already being drawn, I did a quick check. Apparently there's like 170 names. What I'm seeing is like really quick thinking. I'm seeing teams of people, and I'm seeing money everywhere. Money for settlements, money for NDAs, money to shut you up. So I do believe, I don't know if it's still happening, it most definitely did, that allegedly for untamed purpose only, that a lot of victims were paid off to not talk about it. Hate to say it. I'm also being drawn to Bill and Hillary. I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm going to leave that there. But I'm just going to, you know what? I don't care. This is all alleged. I'm not, how could I possibly know? I'm seeing Oprah. I'm seeing Harvey. I'm seeing Bill. I'm seeing Hillary. I'm seeing Prince Andrew. I'm seeing, Spirit Team, want to give me any? Was Bill Cosby around? Because I'm seeing Bill Cosby. I don't know what that... R. Kelly. I'm seeing R. Kelly. I'm seeing P. Diddy. And I'm seeing P. Diddy's studio. And I'm seeing multiple dudes. And I hate to say this because it's kind of gross, but even if you don't watch that stuff, you've seen the meme. You know that meme, and I'm not trying to be racist, is what I'm being shown. You know that meme where it's a joke, but it's actually a porn of this like white blonde girl, and then there's like 6 giant black guys around her, and it's meant to like joke about a gangbang. That's kind of what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing that. Why am I hearing Ja Rule in my head now? Why do I feel like this happened at a lot of music industry places, like where they recorded music? R. Kelly is popping up in my mind. Listen, I stand by what I said. Sure, yeah, like people are finally, telling their story, but I feel very strongly that a lot of the people that are being outed right now were already in the book, and that's how they're being outed. But with all the money and everything, I could see a lot of people being like, this isn't true. It's giving the Prince Andrew. It's like, this isn't true, but I'm gonna pay the settlement anyway because I support our victims. Like that's the vibe. I just don't. At best, I think we'll get like maybe 10 solid names where we're like, I knew it. But I just feel like they're kind of treating us like a child that can't handle it, and I don't disagree. Like, I feel like I could handle it, but that's because I've been researching this stuff for a while. But you think about your average person, right? Like, think about somebody who really, like, okay, think about, like, I don't know, an African-American young girl who really sees Oprah as, like, a role model, someone that maybe she clings to in order to feel like, she has a shot, because look at how the world treats African-Americans. So I could see why they're trying to be careful. So again, I don't think that you guys are going to get the names you want to get. I think you're going to have to be mindful and notice why people are disappearing from our everyday life. Why are they in commercials that they used to say they were too good for? Why are they never really in movies anymore? Why do they look really different? Why does it almost look like it's an AI movie, even though supposedly it's not? Because I think that's where you're going to get your information. I don't feel like they're going to tell you major names. I feel like they're going to tell you names that, like, for instance, if you guys haven't heard of this, I highly recommend Googling it after, because this is like the epitome of why conspiracy can be argued. Bilderberg has a meeting every year, and if you haven't heard of Bilderberg is a meetup of like people that work for pharma, people that work for the news, people that work for television, people that are politicians, people that are celebrities, that are musicians, Bill Gates has been there, rulers all around the world, not just America, not just your favorite countries, and they get together in secret once a year. So there's been secrets happening forever, and I don't know that we will get the level of secrecy open and exposed the way we want. If anything, you know what I'm seeing is like, it's like a version of me on a stump when I'm like 80 and I'm like, back in my day, this is what happened, but they didn't tell us. You know what it's giving? It's like how the aliens are like now declassified because of a whistleblower, but like, if you have any ounce of a brain, you would have known that there's life outside of here. It's giving that. I don't buy that. I just see so many rich people scrambling to make sure it doesn't come out, and the richer, the more likely. I'm sorry. Yep. They're trying very hard to run away from this. I thought this cycle was over. That's the book, because that's the key with the world there. Who's this prominent figure? What does Bill have to do with this? Hillary Bill. What has he got to do with this? Let me pull more cards first. Getting unstuck. Yeah, they are moving money left and right. It's giving me like, because I watched Breaking Bad recently. Didn't like it. It's just not my thing anymore, I guess. But it's giving like moving money here, moving money there. I'm seeing people shredding papers. I'm seeing people like bankrupting buildings. It's giving like this was our building, but it was a front. You know what I mean? There's a lot of money stuff that's happening right now. It's like, oh shit, we got to let go of the things that tie us to this. We got to, because these people were smart to begin with. They were very smart, but the problem was it was like You know, it's giving, God, I don't miss having friendships like this, but it's giving like, I give you my dirt, you give me your dirt. You know what I mean? I'll clean up the bodies for you, but I want a video of you screwing a pig in case you ever try to do me wrong. Like they are trying to clean up. I'm literally hearing the song clean up, everybody everywhere. They are terrified because now that he's in the spotlight and this, they know it's over. If that makes anybody feel better, if this ring were to continue, it's not going to have the strength that it used to, because all of the main characters are gone. All the main players are scrambling, hiding. I'm also seeing people hiding in tunnels under the ground. Take it as it resonates. I don't really care if you think I'm crazy at this point. This whole video is crazy. But people are just like, I can't lie to myself. You know, this is what I did. This is the circumstances. So I'm going to see where I can pay people off. I'm going to see where I can remove myself. I see a lot of people scrubbing things. So like call logs I'm seeing getting scrubbed. Hey, do you remember that you were with me on this night? Great, but like you weren't with me on this night. People are being very strategic right now. Hear no evil, see no evil is the vibe of this. It's like, I know I'm going to get caught. This is over. He's caught. We're caught. Everybody's caught. How much money can I throw at this before it sticks? That's the vibe. It's like they don't have the intelligence to pull this off, but they've been kind of planning for this. Like they've always had an exit strategy. So like I've said, I don't feel like the names we're going to get are going to be names that we know, big player names. But I keep being drawn to big players in my head. So I feel like this is where Spirit's like, y'all aren't going to get the names. So like, we'll give it to you through her. And then if you don't believe her, tough luck. Like, I guess that's what it is. Cause like, I just keep being drawn to like Oprah, Jay-Z, Beyonce, P. Diddy, R. Kelly. Spirit team, you want to throw more names? I don't really care. I'll go crazy. That's fine. I just keep being drawn to like people that are losing their shit now, and it's like, start asking why. Start asking why. Why is Britney Spears out of her conservatorship, but she's still losing her mind? And I'm not saying, because I've done readings on her, she's healing from a lot of trauma, but it doesn't feel like it's just conservatorship trauma. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further because I don't want to disrespect anybody. But she's made a lot of weird comments. And I keep being drawn to like how a lot of celebrities right now, because a lot of the conspiracy theorists have been bringing it up, they keep putting like Easter eggs in their in their Instagram captions and stuff like that. So if you want to find out the dirt, I'm sorry, but I don't think you're going to get it from the expose of this book. This book it's been in many hands. I think that there's, Spirit, you want to give me a percentage of people that will actually just genuinely get away with this? I just heard none. So I just heard as far as we're concerned. So unless people can pull some moves, because again, with this money, but with the Page of Cups there, the emotional immaturity, these people are not ready for it. I feel like a lot of these people, yeah, because I'm hearing the song Untouchable, they felt like they were untouchable, so they didn't care. They got sloppy. That's the problem. And Epstein got the most sloppy, and that's, because I keep hearing, isn't that the consequences of your own actions? It's kind of funny. Not that any of this is funny, but we need some comedic release here. Well, all the victims are telling the truth. I mean, are we shocked? I think you're just going to keep hearing about, like, I just keep being drawn to, like, elected officials. I don't know why, but I keep being drawn to, like, Pfizer adjacent, someone who works for Pfizer. We might get a name about someone who's either given money to Pfizer or they work for Pfizer. I don't know why, but I just keep seeing their label in my head. But you're just going to keep hearing about rich, old, callous, cruel men that were emotionally manipulative. I'm being drawn to how she looks like she's trapped. So we're going to hear about people that were, I'm seeing like in basements, couldn't get out, barely fed while they were celebrating because they caught them. For the people that are very, very big into conspiracies, I'm being drawn to these cups, and if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, literally right under her, and she's in a liquid. So if you want to go down that route, I could see it, but I'm not going to go there. But with the Fool card in reverse, I feel like a lot of these victims also have like a level of like, I should have known better. So that's kind of sad. I don't really know. I feel like the spirits are just telling me whatever else they can because they just drop bombs on me in the morning. But I feel like we're just going to hear, if anything, what we need in terms of like you want to get names and stuff like that, like real names, start looking for people that are saying, because I'm being drawn to back in 2020 when I was really drawn to like Q and all that stuff. And I wanted to know what was true, what wasn't. And I found a girl that said that she was like a car in traffic. I'm going to say it like that. But she was from where I lived, the state that I lived in. And I'm being drawn to how I believed her because it just felt right. And what I'm getting is like, I think you might see more people on like TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that are like, yeah, I linked up with Jay-Z and he passed me around to all of his friends and I was 15. Or yeah. And a lot of people, see, this is the problem is I see people coming out on TikTok because they're inspired by other people that are coming out with their stories. And then I see it going towards like TMZ or Yahoo and then people calling them crazy. So like, oh my God, I'm being drawn to a specific, hold up. If you guys can remember this, it was a while ago and there's been so many accusations, but I'm being drawn to someone who was a guy who posted on his Instagram in text, did not give a video of apology, whatever. But someone said that they were essayed by this person and the person was like, well, that never happened, but I'm very sorry for what this person's going through. I'm sure their mental health is probably not well, and I wish them the best. I think you're going to see shit like that. When you start to see stuff like that, start to eyeball the person because it's gaslighting. It's narcissism. And I would say percentage-wise, the people that are coming out to say something happened, at least 70% are telling the truth. There are definitely people that are going to jump on the train for like attention. I'm seeing that as well. Unfortunately, it always happens. But you guys are concerned about getting news, right? You're concerned about finding out who? Start looking for TikTok. Hashtag elites. I don't know. Hashtag SA, whatever it is. Because people are going to be talking about it. You're going to get more information from doing digging than you are from this book. I'm sorry. I can't shake it. They've done their due diligence is what I'm hearing. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying you're not going to get any names. I'm saying you're going to be disappointed with them because they're nobody that you care about. You might get a couple. It's given like, again, like Easter eggs in the right. Like, we'll give you a couple of names so that you feel good. Like, hey, you know this guy. You've heard of him. Like, maybe he's adjacent to Amazon. You've heard his name a few times. Or maybe it's like Bill Gates, maybe it's Jeff Bezos. I mean, those names are popping into my head, so who knows? Also being drawn to, what's his name? Because he looks like an alien. He runs Facebook, really? Zuckerberg, there you go. So maybe. But yeah, moving on. They're trying to control the narrative of the internet. They're trying to control the narrative, period. They have this sort of like, I'm literally hearing the song Can't Touch This. They think they're untouchable. They have a plan. They're 5 steps ahead. So like I said, like this is giving getaway car. It's like, even though the internet's going to come for us, like we have a getaway plan. I'm sorry, but I don't feel that you are going to get what you want out of this book. You're going to get names, but you're probably going to get like, because what I'm seeing is like a line, and this could be a metaphor. I'm seeing like a line of people in like cuffs and like ankle cuffs. Like, you know how like when they get on like the jail bus, because I watched Orange is the New Black, and they're all like tied together like ankle chains and stuff like that. I'm seeing like that in a bunch of white old guys, like I said before, but it's giving like maybe politicians. So maybe some of you will be happy because you're like, I knew that politician was up to no good, or I knew that the owner of the stock for such and such was no good, or I knew that the campaign manager was no good. Like it's giving that. It's not giving like for instance, allegedly for entertainment purposes only, 0 facts here. This could just be an example. But it's giving like let's just say hypothetically, no facts here, that P. Diddy was on the list. But that would fuck up some people emotionally. And so instead of him being in the line of people, we're just going to use the most palatable of assaults and throw that out so that the people cancel him so that we don't have to. And then whatever happens to him in the background is up to them. So whether that's he goes to jail for the rest of his life, whether that's Unfortunately, I feel like this does happen the richer you go up. I feel like some of them just get new names and go to different places. They're ostracized. So this could be the people that, like, they just suddenly die of pneumonia. But in reality, it's like they already, because I really hate to break it to you, but I don't feel like we're getting justice 100%. There are people, the richer you go, that have escape plans. They're already prepared. I see them, like, tying up loose ends. I'm seeing, like, 7 passports. So there are people that are not going to get caught for this. I'm sorry. You guys want the truth, or do you want what sounds good? Yeah. These people know what they're doing. Maybe this is why I was drawn to pull the cards last, because these are actually kind of disappointing. These people know how to create an illusion so that you guys don't question them. Again, this is why. To those who found me on TikTok, I went viral back in early 2020 because I told y'all that a lot of people that we loved were going to get called out for some messed up shit. I feel like that's still going to continue, and if you're paying attention, you'll realize that they were the people that were in the book. Like P. Diddy, R. Kelly, O.J. Simpson. I don't know. It's giving that. Any other names? Bill Clinton and Hillary. I'm really being drawn to them. I don't know why I'm being drawn to George Bush and the Bushes, but I am. I mean, if you want me to do the 9/11 conspiracy, then I could probably know why. But I think I'm just going to, I feel like channeling is better than cards, because these cards are just telling me a sad story. Because this is Magician, 6 of Wands is success. It's also ego. 5 of Swords in reverse is accepting conflict and moving on. Magician, someone who could communicate very well. Right next to success, right next to accepting defeat and moving on. I feel like a lot of these people are just kind of going to disappear from our awareness, disappear from the spotlight, disappear. Period. It's like we were already... You know what it's giving me? Like, you know how all those, like, thriller movies where it's like, don't press that button because if you press that button, it ends it all type thing? It's giving that. It's like we got a button that... Not a literal button, it's probably metaphoric, that, like, if things go awry, this is what the route we go. And again, I'm being drawn to tunnels. Is it possible we got rich people hiding in tunnels? Because I keep being drawn to underground tunnels. I feel like people are hiding in tunnels. Just saying. I don't know. Whatever. This whole video says, hey, bitch, you crazy. But whatever. Heartbreak. Okay. Dose of realism. Yeah. They're moving money around. They know they're caught. I'm hearing time's up. They know they're caught. They're definitely afraid of being put on not only the chopping block because I'm being drawn to the stake, but also being unalived. I hate that word. Why can't we say real words on YouTube? Is that even a rule? Someone let me know. But anyway, but it's like I've been handed a dose of realism. I can't lie to myself. I'm running out of ideas. This gives me, especially with the dark mirror, it gives me the today for tomorrow vibes of like, I feel like some of them have doppelgangers on standby. You could argue clones to my conspiracy theorists, but it's giving me like, I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but after, these might be people too. Why am I being drawn to them? Johnny Depp and his ex, Amber. Remember how, I don't know if y'all remember this, but after the whole thing was over, because, we got to live stream the whole thing, so you got to ask questions about that. But when he came back out into the limelight, he didn't look like himself at all. This is what I'm saying. I feel like some of them are going to get removed and we don't know anything about it because we can't handle it. They're going to be replaced with people that look like them. It's giving like, how Elvis has a lot of impersonators. It's giving like we have the means and the money to find a good impersonator. So some people might get replaced with impersonators and you'll never find out. Some people will get replaced with impersonators so that the impersonator goes down and so that they're already in frickin', what I'm hearing is like a country that doesn't have, I'm seeing it, but I can't. What's the word? Doesn't have, it's not immunity. It's basically like they can't, like if you were to get in trouble in America, extradition. Thank you, Spirit. Oh my God. I would have stuttered on that forever. I think that's right? Extradition, whatever. These people are making moves. They're not stupid. This is not a cut and dry type of thing. So I feel like this is why the celebrities are going down first, because the people with all the money are making moves still. I'm paying off people. I'm doing settlements. Are you sure you want to speak up in court? Because $10 million could change your life. Like, that's the vibe. It's like, are you sure? Because I feel like a lot of these people have never been told no because they had money to back it up. So it's like, even if, and I'm not saying this is okay by any means, do not ever do this, but like, if you were 15 and these like 60-year-old men were, being inappropriate, but all of a sudden they throw $10 million on the table and you're 15 and you come from nothing and you care about your family, you might do some things that you don't want to do. So I'm worried. Like, what I'm being drawn to is like the witnesses and all the Jane Does and everything. There's so many more than that, but they have no interest in coming forward. Like, I'm seeing Law and Order and people that are like, I'd rather just live with this than ever have to put myself in that situation again. These people are scarred. Like, damage has been done. We do not even know the extent of it, and it feels like our brains can't handle it. It's giving like, again, millennial. I don't know why I'm being drawn to millennial. This is just going to be a super long reading. It is what it is. Maybe watch it on the weekend. I don't know. Save for later. But it's given like, I'm just going to move on. Yeah, I can't escape this. They're going to fight, man. These people do not give up. Abusive power. My poor throat. Oh my God. Hold up. These people, allegedly, and for entertainment purposes only, no facts here. These people have cops in their back pocket. They have judges in their back pocket. They have everybody in their back pocket. So I don't know how long. Because, how long have we been asking about this book? And now, finally, the reason that this hasn't come out, the reason it's been taking so long is because not only, like, you hear it all the time, right? Like, if you're going up against someone with a shit ton of money in any sort of suit, you'll lose because they'll drown you out with money. Now, imagine if you're up against hundreds of people and they're all filthy, stinking rich. This is why this is taking so long. Five of Pentacles in reverse is abuse of power. Seven of Wands, this is the underdog. But Eight of Cups in reverse, I'm not moving on. I'm fighting, and I'll take whatever resources I need to in order to get there. So again, this is messy. Like, I've gotten comments like this before where people are like, well, your reading is very wishy-washy. Well, I hate to break it to you guys, but life is not black and white. It's not that simple. It's not, these guys are bad guys and they're going to jail and that's the end of the conversation. If you want me to do a reading that fits your needs and not fits the truth, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But life is not black and white, right? So this is why I try to give you guys percentages. I feel like most of them are going to get caught, but some people have, like, it's given like I have a dead switch in play. Because remember how, if you guys watch my reading on how Epstein may or may not have been alive and may have whatever, but the jail, remember how I saw like there was teeth involved. They already had his dental records. If you have an in with the police department, you could change your DNA so that it matches someone else. I'm concerned with how much pull a lot of these people have. So, like, I'm hearing like all's fair in love and war. It's giving like, people die during war that shouldn't have to die. It's these people are smart. They're really smart. Y'all, I can tell you who I think is on the list based on names I've already dropped. I can't promise you that a lot of stuff's gonna actually, you know what? It's reminding me of how in the alleged and for entertainment purposes only reading of Jeffrey during the night that he supposedly did those things in the jail cell, it's like things are getting handled outside of the public eye. So it would not shock me. Oh, Q people, you might be onto something here. Maybe things are being taken care of behind closed doors, and that's why we're not getting the justice we feel like we deserve. Because again, I just keep getting this strong, like, we couldn't, it's like I literally just heard in my head, you can't handle the truth, like that from the movie. I don't think we could handle it if we were to just be given all the information. You know what I'm saying? So they're doing this both in a strategic way for us, but then you also got the rich people still trying to make moves. Yeah, it's like, I got dirt on you, you got dirt on me, I'll throw an NDA, I'll throw a defamation of character. I'm just seeing whatever sticks they'll throw. I'll threaten your family. I'll tell your wife that you cheated on her with a minor. This is just corruption against corruption against corruption. There's a lot of NDAs being signed. There's a lot of money being given away. Because you got to think about it, right? Like, if you're like the rest of us, $1 million sounds like a shit ton of money, right? So a few people might fall for that over their rights, over their ability to get justice. So I just think that, to sum this up, honestly, guys, I feel like you're going to be disappointed when the names come out. You might get a couple of Easter egg names that you're like, finally, some truth. But your real truth is going to come from the things that look like they're weird, but it's actually what's going on behind closed doors. I hope that makes sense. I think I'm going to start to wrap this up now, because this is just a lot of like what's happening right now behind the scenes. So I don't know where this is going to go, other than I know that most of the names on that list are going to be names that we don't know. Yeah, it's like we're trying to figure out how to move forward. How do I appease you? Do I have to talk shit? Do I have to love bomb you, or do I have to threaten you? How do I move forward? That's where they're at right now. Honestly, if you guys want, I'll do an updated reading once things actually happen, because right now what I'm seeing is a lot of people scrambling. If I were to explain what's happening right now with all of them, at least the predominant ones that are afraid of their names being dropped, it's like a shell corporation, a white building with all of the paperwork that proves we've done wrong, and we're all in the building and we're all shredding the papers. We're all calling people. We're calling our hitmans, our guys. We're telling you to threaten those people. Start by paying them off, but if that doesn't work, all means necessary. That's what's going on right now. Allegedly, and for entertainment purposes, only 0 facts here. Let's look at the back. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. It's like, how do we use our money for our benefit? These people are not stupid. But with the wheel in reverse, that's bad luck. So I don't think they're all going to win. Remember how I kept saying it's like, by all means necessary, we'll threaten you, we'll do this, we'll do that. And look at how this girl feels like. And it's almost giving like, come on. It's like you have a choice. Like, I could give you money or you're going to get hurt. Like, that's the vibe of this card. Because this is 3 of Pentacles. This is money working together. But it's like, some of these women don't want to work together. They want to tell their story. And notice how it's a couple. Remember how I kept hearing Bill and, aren't they both blonde? Whatever. Just going to leave that out there. But, yeah. But I got to admit, with the sun in the reverse on the back deck with the Wheel of Fortune, like I said, most of them are not going to get away with this. It's just that I feel like some of them will, or they're just going to play it out like a role in a grand symphony, like I said earlier. Yeah, a lot of wealth going on. A lot of, how can I move that wealth around to get what I want? A burden not worth having, aka what's going on right now. And it's like, how can I use my abundance to not be so trapped? I'll throw however much money I need in order to save myself. Everybody's trying to figure out how to save themselves right now. That's what's going on, and that's the problem. This is why I'm having a hard time, because I do remember vividly, but I didn't read the whole thing, where it was like they're still trying to tie up loose ends with like legalities is the vibe. And the problem is, you got a bunch of lawyers going after a bunch of billionaires. That this is not a fair game. So I would definitely be more than willing to do an updated reading once more stuff comes out. But right now, this is the energy of what's currently happening. Keep your eyes out for people being weird, acting weird, not looking like themselves. Keep an eye out for people that are suddenly going crazy, that are calling out people. Because I'm being drawn to the video Orlando Brown made on Instagram, where he's playing Jay-Z's song about like unaliving people, and he goes, oh, word? Oh, really? It's like we already, like, he was literally calling Jay-Z out in the video. So if you want the names that they are not going to release, keep an eye out for who's acting crazy. Keep an eye out for who's disappearing. Keep an eye out for who's doing commercials, and you're like, because oh my God, this might be another one. I'm being drawn to how like Jennifer Aniston, now she looks really weird, and now she's doing commercials that I'm like, really, girl? Like, you're a megastar, and you literally said that you didn't want to be associated with Friends anymore, and now Friends came back around. Things aren't adding up. When things aren't adding up, start to ask questions. That's how you're going to get your answers. But this was a long-ass reading, so I'm going to leave it at this. If you enjoy these long readings, please leave me a comment and let me know so that I know I'm not wasting my time, because I enjoy sharing this all with you, but I know people these days have the attention span of a fly. So if you're not going to enjoy it, then what's the point of me making long videos? But I want to give you all the tea, not just enough. You know what I mean? So anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like. It helps my channel. It also helps other people find my channel. Share it if you enjoyed it, because again, I don't think we're going to get names like that, y'all, and it's pretty disappointing. Comment down below if you could fill in any of the gaps, if anything's making sense to you, because I'm just channeling. I can't really put the twos and twos together. Do you see what I'm saying? Can't talk. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Links are all down below. If you'd like to book a personal reading, links are all down below. Right now, it's 10% off for hour-long readings for the holiday season. But if you see this when it's timeless, I don't know. If you want a reading, just hit me up. But anyway, thank you to my regulars. Appreciate y'all so much. If you're not a regular, please join the squad. We'd love to have you. And I will see you guys in my next video. So take care. Stay safe.
The Comic, the